you and I had a conversation before,
Sure.
and you mentioned the concept of teaching leaders the difference between intent and outcomes.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not sure if you remember that conversation, or if even if you remember that thought. If you do, you can just weigh in, but I can prompt it if you want me to.
Yeah, I remember that. I think is the way I kind of termed it was the difference between intent and impact. Um,
Yes, yes.
and I think the idea there is, and especially in the current times, right? Going back to censorship, cancel culture, and things of that nature. I think that the opportunity for leaders today is to recognize just because your intent was good doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that you have the permission or the ability, the right to ignore the impact because
Yeah.
your impact may not have been your intent. And that's not even just a leader thing. That's just a person thing. If we're connecting with people who have different opinions, different perspectives, different thoughts, what's the in? It's good for you to know your intent, and it's good for you to share what that intent is. But you also need to be open to the fact that your impact may have been very different. If I send a missile, to one country and it hits
Motion
another,
detected
that
at the
other
front
country
door.
doesn't care what my intent was. They're going to want to talk to me about the impact I had, understandably so. And so, as individuals connecting with each other, if I make a comment and I say something that's offensive to you, then you giving me feedback gives me the opportunity to understand that there's a distinction between those two things and the accountability that I have to reconcile that. I don't get to discount you just because my intent was good.
Yeah. I loved when you said that. I was going to say I've been quoting you, but obviously I've been quoting you incorrectly. But intent impact. I love the concept. And then I want to ask you, the people who are listening to these episodes, these talks, are individuals who know there's something in their life that they want more. They want more of something. And generally in this topic, this space, we're talking about leadership and career advancement and things like that. And I had a mentor told me before I took one of my last jobs. He said, if you feel like you're ready for that job, it's not the right job for you.
Hmm.
You need to
Yeah.
dream bigger, go bigger.
Yeah.
And so I want to ask you, do you think you're ready for the position that you're in right now? And then I'd love to, yeah, let me wait there. Were you ready for the position that you're in right now?
Yes and no. Um, yes, because I had the subject matter expertise. I had a systematic thinking about how to do things and what we needed to do. And
Mm-hmm.
little to nothing of what I've proposed has been something that's been countered by best practicing thinkers in the space. That being said, the no comes in my ability to, as I heard one manager tell me and giving me feedback, elevate myself beyond facilitation to leadership. And there's this element of being able to, it's one thing to get the right voices in the room and to think about the concepts of how we need to move forward and to
Yeah.
implement. It's another thing to really be able to drive it from one area to the other, especially when there's an uphill battle, when there's an organization that's struggling with some things. How do you then begin to do that? And there are different skills it may take, right? And for me, it could be one thing, and for someone else, it could be another. But the idea there becomes being self-aware enough to know when you're being stretched and to be willing to step into that
Yeah.
and to do it. And I absolutely agree with that idea. And I think it was Sir Richard Branson made that statement that people quote or attribute to him all the time about, if you ever get an opportunity to do something and you don't think you can do it, say yes, and then figure it out when you get in it. I'm misquoting him too. So, but yeah, I think there's some value to that and the validity to that because again, the knowing comes in the going. And